Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. So yeah, great to have you here guys. So today what I've prepared for you is a live trading dashboard. So what you see right now is something that I've been working on for the past week, and I'm very happy to present to you guys. So for the purpose of live trading, and I always wanted to show to you guys how my algos work and what trades are opening. For that reason, I create this account dashboard where you can see the floating P&L, the balance, the profit for a certain period. And I also have a very nice balance chart with the historical trades. So what this app does is it can, for example, display current open trades, right? So if you click on the open trades table, the open trade chart will update, and it is also able to display closed trades in the history, right? So by clicking on these icons here, we can see that these position IDs or these trades are being displayed on the chart here. Ganesh, hi, nice to see you on the stream. It's great to see familiar faces here. Great, so this was a quick showcase of the new app, and I think we'll get back to it, on some examples. And we also have our US1 strategy that we've been trading for a few weeks now, so we're also going to show you the results of that. But first, let me actually just show you, a very quick presentation with general updates and today's plan. So today, the main topic is the live account dashboard. So what I've shown you, right now is this dashboard. And so today's content plan, I'm going to provide some January channel updates, so some exciting news for you. Then we're going to have to look at the dashboard. I'm going to show details how I coded it, how it works, and what functionalities it has. And then lastly, we're going to review the US1 remote strategy. So it is a strategy that we've coded, backtested here on our channel, and it's been trading on a live account for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I believe. So this is a live account that's been funded with €5,000, and I'm going to show the results on this new dashboard. And after all of that is done, I think if there's any time left, we can have some backtest and chill, and we'll be trying to develop new strategies. So that's basically it for today's content plan. So let's now proceed to the general updates. And so I've mentioned in my last stream that we are working on an algorithmic train course. And after some thorough thinking, we've decided that we will release a free algorithm train course for all of you. So it will be publicly available to all my subscribers and viewers. And the courses will be split into 3 parts. So the first one I'm working on currently is a train course that will teach you how to code in Python, and specifically Python applied for algorithmic trading. It is a beginner course and it is expected to arrive by the end of 2024. Then the next course that we'll be launching will be probably next year. It will focus on trading bot development in Python and MetaTrader 5. So for those of you who trade MetaTrader 5 and want to code their own trading bot, this will be a course for you. And lastly, I think this is the most important one. So we will also have a financial data analysis and backtesting course. So to develop strategies, to do some basic analysis in Python, this course is for those who actually want, to be a self-sufficient algorithmic trader. So all of these 3 courses should be like a full package. So if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe, and I will keep you updated about the development of the course. And of course, hopefully we'll be on schedule, and by the end of 2024, all of you will have access to the Python course. So let's now get to point number 2. And so I've mentioned that we now have a regular stream schedule. So today, unfortunately, I had to postpone because I had some plans over the weekend. But if I don't announce it prior, you can expect me to stream every Monday at 3 p.m. At 3 p.m. GMT +2. And of course, this doesn't mean that I'm only going to stream once a week. So if I have any time capacity or any exciting news, I will announce other streams throughout the middle of the week. So again, just stay updated. and I'll let you know whenever I'm going to stream besides this regular stream schedule. And lastly, all of you are excited, about live trading, and I think this is the most interesting part. So now that I have a live trading dashboard ready, I believe that now we can actually focus more on the live trading. So, one strategy is out already. It's been trading for a few weeks, but of course, we want more than one strategy. So, you can expect more live trading reviews in the upcoming streams. So again, join us and I'll keep you guys updated about any new strategies, such as today. So we're going to backtest today and hopefully we'll find anything interesting. Right, so just a quick information about ATJ Traders. So for those of you who are new here, ATJ Traders is a trading community where you can learn algorithmic trading. We have a YouTube channel, website, Discord community. So if you're interested about algorithmic trading, make sure to visit atjtraders.com/join and you'll find all important information there. We have our own GitHub repository where you can also code along with us. So this is just a quick information. All right, so now let's now get back to our live account dashboard. And what I'm going to show you now is, again, what we have here. So initially in the preview, I showed you very roughly what we have, but let's now get into the dashboard, step by step, what we have here. So this dashboard was built in the Dash framework. So it is a web framework. So what we have here is some general account statistics. So we have the floating P&L, which displays the current profit of the open positions. So basically, all the open trades here are summed up and then displayed as the floating P&L. Then we have the balance and the equity of the account, and this is a profit. Just disclaimer, this is just a demo account. We will also show you what it looks like on our live accounts. This is just for presentation purposes. So the account that is being displayed here is one of our tickmill demo accounts. So you see AUD Swiss, EURUSD, GBPUSD here. So here you can see the open trades displayed. So again here, this is the P&L chart. So this is the history of the closed P&L of all trades. On this right chart here, you can see all open or closed trades simply by clicking on a simple icon here, right? So by clicking on the icon, you can then review the trades without having to go on the platform, which is very useful. So here, for example, right? So this dashboard, it updates automatically. So what happens if I close a trade, right? So here, for example, let's say we have a AUD Swiss trade and let me close it. So by closing that trade, AUD Swiss has now disappeared from open trades. We also see that we have now realized a loss on AUD Swiss by closing that trade. And we see, how this dashboard updates real time and automatically. Actually, doesn't update real time. It updates, once every few seconds. And well, that's basically it. So I can, for example, close all my positions. Here you can see the floating profit. So by closing all the positions on the platform, all of my trades will disappear. And if I open a trade, right? So let's buy EURUSD. So here you see that EURUSD position has been opened, and that's basically great. So again, here are the closed positions, so you can just review your history. And I think this is all we need for now. Of course, we are going to improve this application over time. But what's interesting is, let's see how our US Wonder strategy has been performing, right? So here I have my other Tickmill account, right? That is connected through investor account, so I cannot trade here, but I can review the trades that have been opened. So here we have the entire history. We see that our live algo that we've deployed has been running. And now let me just refresh this application and then refresh this dashboard. And now we should be able to see the results of our live trading strategy. So again, this is our US 100 momentum strategy. It is trading on a live trading account. As you can see, we funded 5,000 US dollars. And so far over 2 weeks, we've made 89.54 euro. Here we see the historic chart. So in the beginning, during the testing phase, we traded small lots, right? So we had 2 or 3 losses in a row. And then luckily, when we increased the position size, we then made 2 big profits in the courses of, 2 or 3 days. Then Um, on the 2nd of September, which was yesterday, we made a small loss, but currently our strategy is 89.54 euro in profit. Here we see the closed trades. So for example, if we want to review the trades from yesterday, here we can see, so you can check out, this part here. It refreshes, so apologies for that. But here we can see the red line where the trade has been opened, and here we have closed the trade in the same candle. Here's the other example of US 100. So for those of you who don't know how it works, it is looking for a momentum candle during the US market open. So this candle here is a bearish momentum candle, and after the close of that candle, after close of that candle, we went into a short trade, and then we went short, 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 and then we closed the trade at the end of trading session. So you can see, right, it was in a much, much bigger profit. We closed in a, in a lesser profit because the strategy, closes at the end of trading session, but this was a very nice trade nonetheless. And then our second profitable trade, this was also a very nice one. So here you can see the momentum candle. Actually, it's those three candles because we're looking at the hourly candle for momentum. So these 3 or 4 candles, they represent the bearish momentum. And after close of this candle, we went into a short position. So the strategy opened a short here, and then again we hold the trade until the end of the trading session, and then we close it here for a profit of 67 euro. So again, currently we're 89.54 euro in profit, and I think this is, this is all I can show you for now. So I will keep you guys updated for more information. So whenever we open any new trades, I will just open this dashboard and show you the live trading results. And of course, with the new strategies we're going to develop, you are going to connect this dashboard to many other accounts, and I'm considering that in the future this dashboard can be publicly online so you guys can view these things for yourself. All right, so I've shown dashboard. By the way, if you want to try it out for yourself, so if you have access to our GitHub repository, I can quickly open our GitHub page. So let's just open GitHub, and you can just check our description in the stream. I've added a link to the GitHub repository. It's free and publicly for everyone. So what you see here is the GitHub repository, and I have saved the dashboard under projects and account dashboard. So here is the file you can find, and again, it's been it's a bit messy still, right? Because I've been working for it. It has about 281 lines of code, and I'm still looking to improve the application. So you can expect some major modifications in the future, maybe some account analysis added into that dashboard. But let's just show you what I have for now. So here I have some imports for Python that will be necessary to write the application, and mainly what we're using is the Dash framework, right? So Dash is a web application framework in Python where you can build analytical applications, and I've used Dash, to create the dashboard right over here, right? So in this dashboard, I'm also going to, for this dashboard, I'm going to import some packages from ATJ Trading, and here I'm just importing some functions that are able to retrieve OHLC data and then that are able to communicate with MT5 to retrieve trading data. So what we will need is we will need to, step number 1, connect to our MetaTrader 5 account. So we're using the MT5 library in Python to connect to this trading platform. So this is our live trading platform, MT5, that is able to retrieve the historical trades, the open trades, and the historical charts. So this is what we need it for. And next thing that we have here is our basic application layout. So the layout is basically our HTML components that we have there. And so what we have here, we have an interval component which refreshes our web application every 5 seconds, right? So 5,000 stands for 5 seconds or 5,000 milliseconds. So this component is used to update our page. So whenever, as you remember, open or close our trade, these these trades should also show here, and that's why we're using that. Next thing we're using is DCC Store, and DCC Store is just storage where we are saving some data in the browser. So that way we can save things such as trade history and things such as selected trades and so on. So I'm going to go into detail very soon. And then we have, this h1 component. So this is a simple html.h1. And what it does is it is simply writing this title here. So now we have some store output and page content. So just to check what data I'm storing, you can find the storage output here. So here I've just output for my convenience what data I'm saving. So I can use the data to plot the charts here, or to for example, save which button I've clicked on. So that way I know, what trade we're working with. So this is the reason why we're using the storage. And then lastly, we have the div component page content. And this div is basically everything you see on this chart. For example, this stats section, the P&L chart, the trade chart, and our open and close trades. So with every interval update, we are refreshing the page and outputting that into our page content div. And may ask, hi, is there any update with the live trading bot you have running? Right. So yeah. So nice. Great question. So I believe you came a bit late to the stream, but that's okay. So actually, what we have here, right? What you see here is our live trading bot. So here, this is the US1 moment trading bot. I funded a account with 5,000. The current performance is plus 89.54 euro. So you can see that in the beginning we had a few losses, a few profits. So if we actually just um, move back, so move back maybe 5 or 10 minutes into a stream, you will find a detailed explanation. I've already explained it to the people who were there on stream. So yeah, make sure to check it out. And of course, I'll be providing more updates on this strategy over the course of my next live streams. And hopefully, we can also increase the position size, because I believe that 5167 is quite good. But I think maybe for my risk appetite, we should risk somewhere around at least $100 to make the strategy worth it. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. And thanks for the comment. All right. So this is our app layout, and down here we have our callback. So in the callback, what we have here is the output page content. So we are outputting the data for the live dashboard in our page content here, and the inputs are our interval component. So every 5 seconds we will check the data from MT5, output it on the dashboard. Or for example, if I click on a selected trade, so we're talking about the storage here. So if I click, for example, on this line here, it will output the storage, and with this update, it also tells our Dash application to update the data, such as this chart here, or potentially any P&L or balance changes. Right. So let's now go through the individual parts of the output. So I'm just gonna go through it very fast, because I think I still want to dedicate some time to do some backtesting. And for those of you guys who are interested in actual Dash programming, I think maybe you can just go through it yourself and ask me any questions on Discord if you want to understand what I've done here. So this line here is just checking which row was clicked on, right? So whether we've clicked on open trades or closed trades row, and that would output our trade chart. Next thing is our deal section, right? So in deals, we are extracting the transactions that were made on MetaTrader 5. And with that, I'm constructing the closed trades history. So this entire part here is working with the trades data frame and trades table. So this is actually the closed trades table that you see down here. And then we have open position somewhere. So here we have the open trades. So here I'm extracting the open trades from MetaTrader 5. Then I'm converting these tables into a P&L figure. So here you can see a figure generated from this data frame. So I'm just summing up the P&L, and this is the chart here. And then for our trade chart, right? So where we're generating the trade chart, let me see where I added that. Yeah, I think it's here. Yeah. So I have written a separate function outside of the callback. So this is a create trade chart where I'm adding trade data and I'm overlaying that on historic charts. And I'm calling that function somewhere up here. So trade fig is equal to create trade chart where I'm adding the data for a selected trade. So here, these are all the components, all the tables and charts that are needed to display data. And here I'm returning this HTML code in this return statement here. So here we have our div component with a stats row. So here I computed the statistics. So these are statistics such as floating P&L, balance, equity, and year-to-date profit. YTD stands for year-to-date, by the way. So it is basically the profit from the start of this year. So basically, if you see YTD, so since January 1st, we've made 89.54 euro. All right, so this is it. And I think, we can go through it, a bit further, but I think now is a good time to actually proceed to backtesting. Right, so let's just open a new project and do some backtest for today, and maybe we'll find an interesting strategy that we can trade live this week. So I really hope that this week I'll be working on new strategy, and after some backtesting and testing, hopefully we will deploy it live very soon. I've also have some other projects that are now in queue and being tested, but I'll let you know once I'm very confident that these strategies will perform well. So let's now proceed to our streams folder, right? So in streams folder, I am uploading files that you guys can use, to review the files on my stream. And, so here, for example, I've streamed the entire August, so you can find all the bots, all the analysis, everything basically I've done on stream here, and you can just review that if you want to check it out. But today, we are now, it is now September, so I've created a new September folder, and here you will find the content plan and all the stream files that I'm going to create today. So first thing, I'm actually gonna share this presentation with you. There's not much, but why not just put it there? So I'm going to share this publicly with all of you, so I know with the link, can copy that. So I'm gonna copy the link, I'm gonna add it here. And let's now just proceed to the backtest. So right now, I don't have any plan. Like maybe I have, some plan, but let's just start from scratch and think about it together what we can do. So just give me a second. Let me just have a quick sip of water. Maybe I'll just get a nicer, bottle next time. Shimo commented, hey, thanks for content. Could you make this easier in certain strategy on browser app? Could you maybe explain what you mean by that? Do you mean like an easy way, for example, to track the MetaTrader 5 accounts? I think this could be possible. So for example, what we could do is we could add, the login, the password, and the server, and it would automatically connect to your MT5 accounts. I think that is something that actually might be very interesting. So yeah, that's a very great idea. And you know what? I'm gonna write it down because I think that this is something that we could, or maybe we could do it now. I don't know, guys. So let me just write it down. So here we can do content suggestion. And here, input trading account credentials into the dashboard. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna think about it. I don't think it's that difficult. So maybe next week I can come up with some solution. And that way, all of you guys, who are maybe not that proficient coding yet, you can just take your MT5 credentials and do that, using the browser. So thank you for the suggestion. All right, but yeah, I promised to do some backtesting, so let's not get distracted too much. And right, so let's create a new file, and let's call it. I'm just gonna call it some backtest, right? So I don't know what I'm going to come up with now. So this is a Jupyter notebook file. And what we will need is to import, some packages from ATJ Trading. So this is a package that I've created so we have an easier time backtesting. So what I'm going to do is from ATJ Trading, import get OHLC, or actually ATJ Trading dot backtester, import get OHLC history. So this function will retrieve the OHLC dataset from MT5, so it's basically the historical prices that will be needed for a backtesting. Then I will need to import MetaTrader 5, so from MetaTrader 5 import MT5. Actually import MetaTrader 5 as MT5. All right, so we've imported that, and okay, so now the packages have been imported. So first what we're going to do is we're going to initialize MT5, so MT5.initialize, and what this does is it will connect to the MetaTrader 5 platform, right? So the output is true, which means we're connected to this platform, and now we can extract any historical data from this platform. So by calling get OHLC history, I'm going to show a quick example how we can extract the historical data. So this is the connect to MT5 part. So OHLC df, which is our data frame, which will contain OHLC data, we'll call get OHLC history, and all we need to provide is a symbol. And today I think maybe we could work with Bitcoin, right? So let's actually try to work with Bitcoin, and we will want the time frame to be D1, right? So we will use mt5.timeframe D1. So this will tell the function that we want to retrieve daily OHLC charts. And let's just set a start and end date time, the time period for which we want, to do the analysis. So to do that, I will need to import datetime from datetime. So from datetime, import datetime, and we're also going to import time delta. So start, so our start date time or start dt is equal to datetime.now, and let's say we will do a backtest for past 10 years, right? So datetime.now minus time delta, and I'm just gonna say minus time delta, and days is equal to 365 times 10, so this represents 10 years. And the end date time would be simply datetime.now. So now what we have to do is we just have to plug in symbol, time frame, the start date time, and the end date time. And then by running this, the output of this should be our OHS data. So I forgot to import date time. So let's run this again. Great. So now we have our OHLC data set. So this is our data frame with open, high, low, close prices. And all right, so now with the data, so let's now just have a quick brainstorm and think about what we could analyze, right? What type of strategy we want to develop. And today I was feeling like checking the price development of Bitcoin, for example, based on the seasonality, right? So for example, does Bitcoin rise in January or drop in December, right? So maybe you can do an analysis by month over the past 10 years, or which months are better to invest in Bitcoin and which months are not, and then we can check the the distribution of the prices and so on. So I'm just going to write down what we're going to do. So here's our to do: analyze price patterns by the time of the year, right? So this is something that I would like to work on, and yeah, we're going to do that. Shimo, he asked, thanks a lot. I think your content is great. I think you should make some subscription-based signal selling website. Yeah, I thought about that, right? I think this is something that ATJ traders could be doing, and I've actually tried to do that in the past. Personally, I've also published signals myself. I just have to think, that there's some kind of responsibility, and whenever I trade my own strategies, it's much easier because I know what I'm willing to risk. But when it comes to risking others people's capital, there is so much more responsibility, and I think I tend to be more risk averse, right? I tend to be more, slower with the strategies, maybe more long-term oriented, to maybe have a higher chance of, guaranteeing a return. But yeah, that's a great comment. I think once we have released several strategies here during our live stream, and you guys, for example, want to copy any of our signals that we have created here during the stream, uh, yeah, I think we could somehow maybe discuss that if you'd be interested in that. But yeah, I think this is maybe still in the future, but definitely a great idea as well. Okay, so we want to analyze price patterns by the time of the year. Um, so let's start with analysis by month, right? So does Bitcoin increase in January, decrease in December? Is it a good time to invest in summer, winter? We don't know, but let's check it out. And to check that out, we need to compute the month column. So OHLCDF month is equal to our time column. So it's OHLCDF time dot dt dot month. So now if we look at this data frame, um, here we have our month. So you see it's September here, and the month is number 9 here. Yeah, thank you, Shimo, for your comment. That's very nice of you to say. All right, so now we have the month. And what we can do now is let's do a simple group by, right? So let's see the gain that every candle makes, for each individual month. And what we need to do first actually is to compute the gain, between each candle. So the gain, right? The gain is equal to OHLCDF dot open. We take the previous price, shift 1, or actually, shift -1. So basically, when we compute this price, right, we're comparing it with the next upcoming price, right, to see how much, we've gained. Or actually, we can also do, let's actually close, right? Actually, we should do open. Yeah, it's open. Minus the current open. Right, so now we see the gain for each candle, and let's now compute the gain by month. So to do that, let's create a data frame. Gain by month is equal to OHLCDF dot group by. Here we're going to add the month, and then we're gonna calculate the gain, and we're gonna sum that up for the entire month. So the output of this looks something like this. So here we see, that in January we're losing, in February we're winning, and this is over the past 10 years that we're backtesting. And I'm going to import another thing from IPython to display import display. Display is used to display the data in cells. So if you want to display multiple things in your notebook, you can use display, and then I can, print something else. So display other things. So it's better than print because display actually formats the data that is nicer to look at in the Jupyter notebook. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna create a chart. So I'm going to create a figure and is equal to px.bar. So I'm gonna create a bar chart, and as you can see, px is not imported. So from plotly.express or import plotly.express as px, and this allows us to create bar charts. So I'm going to add this data frame here. On the x-axis, we're going to plot the month, and on the y-axis, we're going to plot the gain. And I can actually add a title, so it's nice to look at gain by month. PyCharm is actually quite smart with that. And yeah, x-axis is not available because month is in the index. So I'm going to set as index is equal false. And now we have this data frame here. And now I want to display my figure, right? So here we have our data frame, and here is our figure. All right, so let's take a break and think about what does this chart do. This chart, it shows you the gain on Bitcoin for every month over the past 10 years. So if we sum all Januaries, so if you bought Bitcoin and held it for a month, you would have lost $5,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? In February, you would have made money. In March, you would have made, and also in December, you would have made money, right? So this is what the chart is telling us. Again, this is just some historical analysis. It does not mean that the future result is guaranteed, but I think this is something that is worth looking at and analyzing and see if we can build a trade strategy on top of that. So maybe the next thing we could do is analyze what would happen if we just invested in Bitcoin in February and in December, for example, right? We would be holding Bitcoin for a month, and then we can run a backtest, and hopefully, that could work. So this is just a simple, analysis. Second, I think the chart looks kind of weird because I should see November, and December, but let me just make it this small, or I can just set the width statically. But yeah, so now we see this. So it's the chart. But what I'm interested in is not just how much it has made in total over month, but also I like to see the distribution for every year, right? So maybe what could happen is that in February, one year was very strong, and then the rest of the years were kind of random. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to group it by the year and the month, right? So for that, I will need to compute the year column. So we add here and here. So now we see what year it is in this column. And so by running this again, what you see here now is a chart, a bar chart that is showing the value for every year, right? And that is very interesting. And what I'm also going to do is I'm gonna colorize the years so we can also see more nicely how it is distributed. So this is also very interesting, right? So now what we've done is we are looking at this bar chart for every year, and we see that, for example, in the year, let's look at just at February, right? So I'm gonna zoom in and let's just look at February. What happened here? So it's Bitcoin. We are running an analysis on Bitcoin since 2014, so for the past 10 years. And we see that in 2022, Bitcoin lost 8,000 in January, right? We see that it gained 2023. So what we see here is that, some years we made a profit, some years we made a loss. But what is very interesting in Bitcoin is that, for example, in February, right? We see that in February, almost no month, or actually no month except for this one. So in 2020, we lost 856, but almost every month we made a profit on Bitcoin in February. So it's something very interesting, right? So there was no bad month in February. So maybe our hypothesis could be Bitcoin tends to increase in February, right? And we can filter out, this yellow line here, 2024, because this year Bitcoin had a very big rally, and And maybe, right, we are lucky, but the fact that almost every month was in profit in February for the past 10 years is a strong indicator that maybe we might invest in Bitcoin in February, right? Or in March. So in March, it's a bit more mixed, right? Because here we see 2 months that are in minus, but the rest of the months are in plus. So maybe we're looking at these patterns, right? So February, March, and October are good months to invest in Bitcoin. Again, I'm not saying that you should or have to, but I just see some correlation. And until we run through backtests, we can't confirm anything. But we see that February, March, and October show promising results. And now that I think about it, right, what we can do to optimize this is I've just used the absolute gain, right? So Bitcoin 10 years ago was almost nothing. I think 10 years ago, Bitcoin was below $2,000. Now it's trading at $60,000. So maybe what we might be more interested in is looking at the percentage change, right? And to compute the percentage change, all we have to do is we just have to divide it by the current open price. So percentage gain is equal to our gain, and we divide it by the current open price to get the percentage. Yeah, and then we need to take 1 minus, yeah, 1 minus, no, I think it's actually correct. Yes, this is the percentage gain. Let's have a look at it. All right, so yeah, so in this case, this should be 0.2%. So let me just multiply it by 100 so we can see more clearly what we have here. So we're computing the percentages now, and this is it. So instead of computing the absolute value, we're working percentages. So, you know, every year is adjusted by the percentage and it should be more even, right? Because now, you know, because Bitcoin in 2024 and like for the past 3 years has been trading about 20K. All the historical prices are, you know, overshadowed by these big price swings. And I think this is a better way to do the analysis. So I'm going to plot the percentage gain, and let's now see what we have. And now we see a more evenly dispersed chart, right? So what we see here is that, you know, in percentage terms, this also looks very nice. So for example, in February 2024, Bitcoin increased 37%. But in 2021, it increased 36%, right? So that's very interesting. And here it's 22, 15%. So now it even looks even better. So only 1 month out of 9 months, right? Or actually only 1 year, which was 2020, Bitcoin made a loss in February. But all the other months in, you know, since for the past 10 years, we're in profit. Then we have March here, and March now, you know, in the previous analysis, I said that March looks like a very nice, you know, year to invest in. But now that I see more closely, right, using the percentage values, I'm now more skeptical about investing Bitcoin March because we see 1, 2 losses, and then we see 1, 2, 3, 4 that are around 0. So now it almost looks like almost a breaking strategy, or you know, that there's no like strong correlation that we should invest. So now February looks nice. October looks very nice. So 2 out of 8 are in profit. So maybe we have an edge there. And December looks kind of nice, right? But still, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months that are in a loss, but in a small loss. But the rest of the years, right, are very strong in profit. So maybe in trading, you should always look for the highest quality trading setups. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to backtest a strategy that will open the trade at the start of the month in February and December. and we will close the trade at the end of the month or at the start of the next month, right? So we open on the first day in February, close on the first day in March, and it will open a trade on the first day in December and close on the first day in November, right? This is something that we could be doing. And the very nice thing is now it's September. So if you're able to finish this backtest analysis by the end of this month, if my hypothesis is true or I see potential in the trade strategy, we might be investing in Bitcoin in December. So let's hope that the analysis will be good. And then in November, we'll see, if I'm correct. So now we have an entire month to prepare for this trading strategy. And then we can look at Ethereum later or even stocks. Like it can work with anything, right? So I think we can have a look at different asset classes, but we start Bitcoin, so let's just try to finish that. All right, so let's finish the backtest. And so to finish the backtest, I will need to import the backtester. Right, so I'm importing the backtester, and I'm just gonna copy some template files from previous backtests. So we have some backtester. Here's a sample backtest. So I need to copy on bar, which is our signal function to generate the trades. And then I will need some basic, initial setup for the backtester to run the backtest. So here I'm going to copy these two cells, and then I'm also going to copy, some P&L plots, and then we can have a look at some backtest figures later. But this is all we need for now. All right, so what they say? We said that 9 out of 10 months were in profit in February for the past 10 years. Here we have 7 out of 10 months were in profit, right? So maybe, hopefully, it's again not guaranteed, but hopefully there is some edge in trading these setups. So if it's the first day in February, right, I'm going to go long. So what I'm going to do is so ignore that, right? So I just copied the old, function. So I just need to rewrite the function. So data represents the row in our OHLC data frame, right? So data represents each individual row in our OHLC DF. So if our month is 2, right, and we have no open trades, then we want to buy, let's say, not one Bitcoin, let's do nominal value. So let's say 10,000 euro worth of Bitcoin, right? So volume is equal to 10,000 divided by the current Bitcoin price, right? So that way we get the number of Bitcoins that are needed, to have 10,000 equivalent. So I'm just gonna round that number, and I'm gonna round it to 2 decimal places. And so this is our volume, and here we're buying. We can ignore the info message. So we're buying Bitcoin, and we can actually just set it to symbol because we know that symbol is set to Bitcoin. So, and the same for, actually we are not selling because here I don't see any selling opportunity, so we're just buying. So I can delete the excess signal here, the entry for sell, sorry. So if data month is equal to 2, or actually we said either February or November. So we want to buy either in February or November. So we are buying Bitcoin here. And if it's March, or November, oh sorry, we are investing in October. So if it's February or October, we're buying. And if it's November or March, we're closing the trade. So if you have any trades open, right? So if it's March or November because the first trade of the month, and you have any open positions, we just want to close any open trade. So this is how you work with the signal function or on bar function to run the backtest. So we use orders.close trade. And here we just have to pass this. And here we're using just our orders class here. Okay, so this is a very simple, trading logic. So there's not much sophisticated going on. We just identified, November and October as potential investment, months for Bitcoin. And now let's just run the backtest. So now, what's a commission on Bitcoin? With the broker, currently I pay like 10 or 15 US dollars per contract. So I think, what is the current Bitcoin price though? So BTC USD is at 58,000 and we see around 15 US dollars spread on that. So I'm just gonna do a very simple, a simplified commission structure. So 15, let's just increase the commission, so we have higher commissions in the backtest. 20 divided by 60,000, how much is that? 3.3 to the power of -4. So that's 0.03%. That's not, that's actually pretty cheap. That's very cheap actually. So we're paying $20 commission per 60,000. So we can write it as such. So if historically Bitcoin was a bit lower, we have, this value here. So 20,000 divided by 60,000. Or yeah, so actually I didn't add like percentage backtests in my backtester, so I think I should implement that. So now I'm just going to use a flat 20, right? So historically we'll be charging a bit higher commissions, and I think I'm going to improve my backtester by adding percentages in the future. So right now I only have static commissions, unfortunately. Okay, so the commission is -20. Our backtest will be running in USD. And let's have a look at the results. So this is the backtester. Here we called our OHS data frame OHLC DF. All right, so the backtest has been finished. So we've invested the first day of the month in October and the first day of the month in February. So in total, we have 20 trades, because we have 10 years, we have 2 trading setups in a year. And let's look at the P&L chart. So our P&L chart looks something like this, right? So it's a very nice curve. And it would have made 30,000 US dollars in profit, which is nice. So the only thing, I'm scared of, you should be wary, right? Is that this might be just some survivorship bias. It might just be, it is random that, some months, all the months were in profit. But you never know if it's survivorship bias or if it's random until you try it yourself, or if you have, some other metrics. In my opinion, because I have 10 years of historical data, I see this February and October, they've been in plus. I think there is some edge in trading this setup. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, right? But as long as I see, this pattern here, it is something that I'm really considering of trying. So with this backtest here, I think we are going to invest in Bitcoin in October, right? So we're going to hold Bitcoin for a month, and we're going to hold, I still have to think about the, risk management, how much I want to invest, maybe 10,000 euro equivalent in Bitcoin, and see how it goes, right? And then at the end of the month, in November, once we close the trade, I think we're gonna see. So Bitcoin is very volatile, it's very risky, right? What can happen is that within a month it might drop 50%, and this is something that we have to consider, that it is potentially a very risky setup. But if there's an edge, yeah, I think we have a lot of potential. So yeah, so I'm going to save this backtest. So I'm going to rename this backtest. So BTC by month, all right? So I'm going to refactor that. And I think that's it for today. So I'm going to upload this code on our GitHub. So everyone who's watching, you can check out my GitHub page. It's going to be there. And I guess that this is it for today's stream, right? So I'll be working on that. I'm going to provide you with updates on the US100 trading bot. And then in the next streams, we're going to work on other strategies, right? So thank you guys for watching, and yeah, take care, and I'll be happy to see you on my next stream.